Hello, my name is Elijah Ramos, and today I will be going over math for grades 5th and 6th. I will be covering a wide range of topics in math for ages 5th and 6th, and after each video segment for 5th and 6th grade, the answers will be provided for the work that I have done. Thank you for watching. Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to be multiplying fractions, but with bigger denominators. Okay, so for the first one, we have 6 over 12 times 2 over 1. So before we even start multiplying, the first thing that we can do is see if we can reduce the fraction to make it smaller and easier to multiply. So when we look at the first fraction, we have 6 over 12. And since 6 over 12 is even numbers, and since 6 and 12 are both multiples of 6, we can reduce it. So if we took 6 out of 6 over 12, 6 into 6 would give us 1 over, and 6 into 12 would give us 2. So we'd have 1 over 2 times, and since these are also even numbers and multiples of 2, we can take 2 out of this one. And we have 2 into 2 would give us 1, and 2 into 10 would give us 5. So now our new fractions would be 1 over 2 times 1 over 5. And now all we do is multiply. 1 times 1 gives us 1, and 2 times 5 gives us 10. And since the fraction cannot be reduced any further, this would be our final answer, 1 over 10. There we go. Okay, for the next one, we have 1 over 16 times 7 over 21. So our first thing we should look at is to see if we can reduce any of the fractions. 1 over 16 does not look like it can be reduced since we have a 1 in the numerator and you can't really reduce anything with a 1. So we look at 7 over 21. And the first thing we can see is that 7 and 21 are both multiples of a number. That number is 7. So we can change it. So let's rewrite this. So we have 1 over 16 times, and if we took 7 out of each, another 7 right there. 7 into 7 gives us 1. 7 into 21 would give us 3. So now, since the fractions cannot be reduced either any lower, we can now multiply. 1 times 1 would give us 1, and 16 times 3 would give us 48. And if you want to see how I got 48, I'll show you right here. So we have 16 times 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. Write an 8 there. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 1, plus 1 is 4. 48. And that's how we get our answer. And this would be our final answer. Alright, for the next one we have 8 over 9 times 1 over 2. And at first glance, just looking at it, it doesn't look like either of these can be reduced any further. So now we can go straight into multiplying. So we have 8 times 1 would give us 8. And 9 times 2 would give us 18. And since both of these numbers are even, we can take out. So if we took out a 2 for each one, 2, if we took 2 from 8, that would give us 4. And if we took 18 divided by 2, that would give us 9. And that would be our final answer, 4 over 9. And for the last example, we have 11 over 20 times 4 over 14. So one of these fractions can be reduced. Would it be 11 over 20 or 4 over 14? The fraction that would be reduced would be the 4 over 14, since they're both even numbers, and these have no common factors. So if we rewrite it, we would write 11 over 20 times, and if we took a 2 from each one, 2 from 4 gives us 2, and 2 from 14 would give us 7. And now we multiply. 11 times 2 gives us 22, and 20 times 7 would give us 140. And now that we have our final answer, can we reduce the fraction? If you said yes, you would be correct, because this can be reduced. If we took out a 2, we would have, our new answer would be 11, because 22 from 2 is 11. And 140 divided by 2 would give us 70. And that would be our final answer, since the fraction cannot be reduced any further. 11 over 70. Now that I have done some examples with you, I would like you to finish the rest of the problems on your own. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. These are the answers for the rest of the problems for multiplying fractions with larger denominators. Check your work. Welcome back. If you stayed with us from the last video, today we are going to be going over addition of integers. So an integer is a number with an either positive or negative attached to it. So I have written a number line up here, and the numbers on the left side of 0 will always be negative, and on the right side will always be positive. And 0 is a neutral number because it has neither positive or negative attached to it. So when we add integers, positive and negative, we look for the numbers to see if they're negative. They will have a minus sign in front of them. For example, all these have negative numbers attached to them. A negative means it's a negative integer. A minus sign means negative integer. A plus sign means a positive integer. So when we add, when we add integers, we're always going to be going to the right side. So for our first example, we have -2 plus 3. So we start at -2 and we go right 3 times. So we go 1, 2, 3 and end up at +1. So we would write for our answer +1. For the next one, we have 0 plus -6. Now since the -6 is on the right side of the plus sign, that means we're going to be going the opposite way. So we start at 0 and go 6 ways to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our final answer will be -6. For our next question, we have 7 plus 1. Now this is a simple one, since there's no negative attached to it. It's just simple addition. So we go from 7 and we add 1, 8. So there we go. That would be our final answer. For the next one, we have -6 plus 4. So we would start at -6 and go to the right 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we land at 2, which would be our final answer. -2, I'm sorry. -2 would be our final answer. For the next question, we have 2 plus 4. And again, this is a simple math question since we're just adding, since there's not a negative attached to any of the numbers. So we go from 4 and add 2. 1, 2. Having 6 as our final answer. For the next one, we have 5 plus 10. So we start at 5, and I'm sorry that I do not have the rest of the numbers that would go. So we would go from 5 and then add 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And wow, it should, if you do your math right, you should get positive 15. And I'm sorry, I have not been writing the positives on these. All right, for the next one, we have negative 6 plus 0. So we start at negative 6 and we're adding 0. So we're not going to the right or the left, we're staying pat and staying on negative 6. So that would be our final answer, negative 6. For the next one, we have negative 9 plus negative 1. So we start at negative 9 and we add negative 1. So since we're adding a negative, we're going to the left of the number line. So we're going from negative 9 and adding 1, negative 1, so 1. So our final answer will be negative 10. And for our last example, we have 0 plus negative 4. So for this one, we start at 0 and we go to the left 4, since the negative, we're going to go to the left 4 since there's a negative on the 4. So we go from 0 and go to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Having our final answer be negative 4. Now that I have shown you a couple examples, I would like for you to complete the rest of the worksheet on your own. The answers will be provided after this video. Thank you for watching. And these are the answers for adding of integers. Please feel free to check your work to make sure you did all the questions correctly. And if you did not, please go back and check what you did wrong. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video once again. And don't forget to like and share this video with your family and friends, and to comment down below on what you'd like me to cover in future videos. And remember to wash your hands, stay inside, and if at all possible, if you have to go out, keep a distance of 6 feet away from others. Thank you guys. See you later.